Hello and welcome back to Factorio. Last time I'd built a blue circuit design and I've got horrible hay fever. Anyway, let's try and get through this. Last time I built a blue circuit bot build and I was umming and ahhing about how to bring in the sulfuric acid, and I wasn't sure if a single line of piping would actually have the flow rate to get all the way around the build. So I thought I would dump the whole thing in creative mode. So that's what I did, and I attached a single unbarreling machine. Here we are. It's got an endless source of these things, but it doesn't really matter. It's not unbarreling very fast. Okay, doesn't need. It's just nestled in here among these speed beacons. It doesn't even need those speed beacons, to be honest. And this one unbarreling machine is keeping the whole thing going with absolutely no trouble. Right, there's sulfuric acid all the way around to this far end, and all the way around to this far end. Totally full pipe. Okay, so there is no issue with flow rate despite having a very long length of pipe. So that's nice to know. I thought I would compare the theoretical production with the actual production. You can already tell what the story is going to be. There's lots of red lights, but let's calculate what it should make. Okay, this takes a moment. So it should make 5.2k. It is making 1.8k. That's pitiful. Now, what is the reason? Okay, so red circuits, these are full. So 2 inserted emptying a carriage of red circuits is more than enough. I might look later at if we can get away with a single one. Right, this is pretty low on green circuits, and if we look at what's wrong with these things, find one that goes, alright, here we are. So this is waiting forever for green circuits. So the issue is we are not getting enough green circuits out. So what can we do about that? Oh, there's something on the floor there. Got it, okay. So what we can do is have more of these emptying the trains. So we'll start with that. Okay, so 2 is clearly not enough. Let's try 3, and we will just work up one by one. We're really looking for the minimum build which works. Okay, so that's 3 of those. And our production has gone up quite a lot. But it's still 2k, which is, yeah, it's plateauing off at 2k. So, and it's still red, and it's red waiting for greens. Okay, so where did our blueprint go? Let's add more. What I'm hoping is that we don't end up needing to move the stations around so that the greens are in the middle and are emptying on both sides. But we will see about that. Okay, so they all have 4 now. And our production is up to 3.6k. Okay, the production's definitely gone up. Excuse me. I've been trying all sorts of things, which is why there's this previous chart. Okay. So this has gone up to 3.2. Remember, we're heading for 5.2 as our theoretical. Okay, so that's improved things. Let's put in... We seem to be getting about 1k per box, don't we? I'm just going to put in the full 6. There we go. So that's the full 6 boxes. It's not an issue with drones. So I threw in a bazillion drones. We have, yeah, nearly, well, 2.8k drones, of which about 1k of them are 1.5k are active. Okay, and there are drones charging, but there's no halos, so they're just charging and then moving on. Okay, so what's the production now? 4.4k, 4.5. Okay. So that's still not 5.2. Let's go here and see what the problem is. Okay, so this is stalled on red circuits. Green circuits, green circuits. So one option is to shift these stations around so that the green circuit station is in the middle and can offload on both sides of the train. Then the blue circuits would be off to one side and would, so the blue and the red would be one side and the other side. Let's choose another one of these and see if, so this is pausing on reds. Yeah, that's got jammed on reds again. And do we have, yeah, we have 48 reds in here, so that's not a problem with delivery. That's a problem with inserters. So because it's inserting from a single box. Right, the issue is we have a power pole. There's nowhere else in this very compact build to put, because we need, basically we need a second box, one for greens, one for reds. Then there would be no contention about whether this stack inserter is picking up greens or reds. So our build is no good. Okay, so what can we do about this? I think the solution is to rip it up and start again. So this managed to do 4.4, 4.5. Let's go out. So it's averaging 4.6 of a possible 5.2, which isn't good enough. The machines are stalling, and they seem to be stalling not because they don't have green circuits or red circuits, but because there's this single inserter which is trying to supply both greens and reds. And it's picking up the greens preferentially. Yeah. So we need separate inputs for the greens and the reds. Okay. So let's take a single unit blueprint. Here we are. And go over somewhere over here. There we are. Outside logistics range. Okay, so that's our build. Put some power down because I don't like the flashing. Put down, probably can't put it down a drone port. Okay, so we have to, this is our input for green circuits. Then we need an input for red circuits. So get rid of the green circuit for there, get rid of the red circuit for there. So this build would work, except there's no way to power it. So what can we do to fit in power poles? Well, we have the option of widening the build. These two beacons could be moved to the right one. Let's try that. Or we could, we may have to open up a gap actually. So let's take a blueprint of a beacon. take out that. We'll put them back. There. Okay, so that's our new build. We've got some space down the side now, which means we can power everything up. Yep, that's all powered. So the cost is that we're going to have fewer machines in a row, but how many fewer, I don't know. So let's this is our blueprint. So we have 1, 2 of those. Let's put in the green wire. Okay, and this is set to set filters, great. Okay, then we can pick up this pair and put them down overlapping. That's 2, 4, I needed, yeah, because that gets the wire. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, we had 13 in a row before. Just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But that looks like it's a similar size. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Let's take that and see how it compares for size. So that's 11. That's the same size as the 13, give or take. I wonder if I can squeeze one more into the... Right, so that's 12. This is just trying out the size. Okay, so this is hitting the logistics at the bottom, not... Yeah, so 12 is slightly wider. So I think we can go with 12 instead of 13. So we are losing 12 machines in total by going for this build. And bots are making an ever so slightly longer journey. So this back corner machine is a couple of tiles further out. If I was to make it a 13 build, which we can try, so we've got the same number of machines as before. It would be that big. And let's try it and see. Okay, so that is obviously bigger. And the question would be, can we actually get the materials out? Well, let's go with that one because it maintains the number of items. Okay, so let's do it one side and then the other. In fact, I'm going to do this side. Okay, so this would go here. The mouse is on the center. The center is here. So 1, 2, 3. Then there's an annoying rock here that needs to go. Right, let's try that again. So that can go, that can go. There was a rock which hadn't been deleted for some reason I don't understand. That's it. Okay, so we need to put in the acid. Again, I'm not quite sure if this is the right way to do the acid, but it'll do for now. Yeah, that's too close. Oh, there's just a single. Well, we made it good. So that would join up to there in the final build. For now, we'll just botch it into there. Right, then I need a green cable here to here to here, so they are all joined, and that to that to that, so they're now all on the clock. There we are. So that half is up. Let's go to this back corner because this is the worst case machine. That's stalling on green circuits. Right, it's got plenty of green, it's got plenty of red. Right, what's going on here? Okay, so it's because this has to swing twice. So, yeah, each time it swings, it moves 12 items. It has to swing twice to replace the 20 to move 24. So every now and again, it's swinging once and then missing. So what could we do? Right, so let's say this also had a request of $48. Okay, so that is that running? So now, because this inserter is inserting both greens and reds, it's stalling. Okay, what else can we do? So the upshot is we need two inserters moving green circuits in, but we need a separate inserter moving the reds in. How could we do this? Right, we have a gap here now we could play with. I don't really want to put the gap here because then we're adding distance away from these drone ports and we can only fit 2 rows of assemblers in. Right, that's the absolute worst case machine. Let's see if this machine here has the same. Yeah, it does. Okay, so this is a problem right across the board. Have we at least increased the build? So this is 4.5, 4.6. No, we haven't improved it materially from our previous build. Because the problem is having a single inserter inserting the greens. Right, and there's not enough room here to put in another inserter. Um, right. So it could be 2 away, but then we wouldn't have this row anymore. So it looks like we can't fit 3 rows within 1 drone distance. Okay. And how are we for logistics length here? Not great. We could botch it by putting a drone port behind. The problem is then that makes this build, so if we did that, we would then have logistics going all the way back to here. It would make it very difficult to pack 2 of these back to back. Okay, so we may be stuck with a 2-row build. Let's have a go at that. Okay, so this was heroic, but ultimately a failure. Let's go back to a single unit. Okay. That can go. These can go. We're probably not going to use the same power pole arrangement, so that can go. Okay, so we need 4 boxes, basically. That's the upshot of this. So let's take away the beacons. All of them. The other option is to do an 11 beacon build. Okay, so this is the type pack. If we took away that 1 beacon, right, so this could be This could be 48 red circuits. This could be 240 green. Then these could output to a shared provider box. So then you would have essentially this same build there. Then you would cap that off with beacons this side. Okay. So, how could we, and then on the final, because we need to get all this material down to here, on the final row, we could replace that with a dumb box and put that there. Okay. So that would work. It is not pretty, but it would work. And it is a lot of inserters. I'd obviously prefer a build with fewer inserters. But what this is telling us is that you can't move enough green circuits into the blue machines with a single stack inserter because the blue circuit machine consumes more than 1 stack of greens per build cycle. Okay, how will you power this up? Well, I think that becomes a lot easier because we can just put a substation in it. Right. So we could just whack a substation down here for the front 2 rows. For the back row, you can't. And that might overlap with the circuitry at the front. So it might overlap with this substation here. Let's try one. Right, so if we pick up a substation, if we were to put it, yeah, that substation joins all the way back. That's not very good at all. So I'd have to put the substation actually in the row of beacons to fix that. Or not use substations down the backbone of the train station, but that's a lot of cables if we do that. Okay, so even that's not far enough back for the substations to avoid joining. And anyway, we can't do substations for the final row. Right, what does this hit? Right, it doesn't hit the beacons. Right, so I have the final back row is going to be a problem for various reasons. So it would need this extra box moving down here, which means we can't put a substation. Let's illustrate this with the back row build. Right, so that's the front row build. The back row build would look something like I use steel chests everywhere, not for their capacity, but because I want a normal provider. Not for their capacity, but because I have them built anyway in the factory for making the logistics chests, and it's just easier to standardize on a single type. Okay. Yeah, so we would also want to limit this probably. Anyway, we'll get back to that. Right, so those will be our 2 builds. The issue is that one can be powered up with a substation, but that's problematic because it crosses over with the front build. This one we can't power up with a substation. This substation doesn't really go very far out to the back. It goes a tile out the back. So the equivalent to having that, which powers up the bottom strip, but doesn't touch these side beacons, which are the ones which are also not touched by this. Okay, so I need one more square somewhere to get it powered up. Right, I wonder... Let's get rid of this because it's ugly. Right, so I wonder... This is already just touching the machine on the corner. This overlaps it by 2. Except I can't move these 2 further apart because then they can't share the box. So this overlaps by 2. I can move this beacon out. Yeah, that overlaps by 2. But I don't think I can move. I don't think I can leave that where it is, because then this won't. Right. Let's put down a second wrap. Okay, so this machine has these two beacons touching it. This is right on the corner of that. So if we move this beacon to the left, we have to move this all to the left. Now, this beacon overlaps that by 2 squares, so this can be moved as well. So the gap would go here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 beacons. All 4 of those can be moved to the left. Well, let's do it. So these 4 beacons, let's move those 1 square to the left. And check they still overlap things. So that, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this still has 4 beacons from the bottom row. This still has 1, 2, 3, 4 beacons from the bottom row. So let's do the same on the top. I'm trying to do the minimum damage possible to get an extra beacon in an extra space into the build somewhere that we can put our extra power pole. Right. So that powers up part of the build. That powers up another part. Right. We then need to somehow power up the other half. Right. So this beacon corresponds to this beacon. And there's currently nothing powering up this machine. So that doesn't quite... Yes, that reaches the bottom one, but doesn't reach the top machine. Right, I'll show you what I mean. Put that on. Okay. So, we have no power going to this beacon. This beacon corresponds to this. These 2 beacons would correspond to this one, hopefully. So these 2 beacons are okay, as is this. Right, let's try again. And it doesn't tile because we're now off. Right. Maybe it's the not tiling that saves us. Let's take out those 2. Put it back like that. Okay, so we now have space for a power pole there. And then we're missing just this inserter here. There. So that is a bit of a dog's breakfast. But with those 3 power poles, that does power everything up. Let's take that. Yeah, that does power. So by the time we tile this, the extra bits get powered. Okay. Right, so let's take that up again. Okay, so we need to wire these 2 inserters. To set filter. Great. So this is 2 assembly machines. This is 4. And we need to wire that to that, which we can't do because it doesn't reach. So we have to do it via a pole. I really don't like wiring things via poles if I can avoid it, because when you move the poles around you lose the wiring. But this looks like it's the option we have. Okay, so if that's wired to the pole, then we should complete that. In the tile. All right, so 1 unit of this then is we can take out that, that, that. We need to duplicate this pole so that the green wire is duplicated. Right, is there anything? Yeah, so some of this is not powered up. And the way to solve that is to put in the corresponding power pole. Well, let's take a blueprint of this unit. Okay, so if we put this down here, we would have a power pole here. Let's see if that is the right place. Oh, it is. Brilliant. If we put this down here, we would have a power pole down the bottom that was down here. So there. So that's our tiled, fully powered blueprint. Does that work? Yes, it does. Great. So we need something that's ideally going to fit into that type of footprint. Maybe the best way to do it is to build it against that footprint. Okay, so this was our starting one. This was our first expanded one. Okay, so that is 12 in the space that had 13. Our boxes are well within logistics. They're a tile further in that side, and they are the same there. Okay, so that's a 12 build. what would happen here? I don't know if I can click drag, but let's try it. Okay, so this is a 14 build. So I can have a 12 build in the same space as the 13, compressed, or I can have a 14 build in the space here. I like the idea of the 14 build. So let's take a blueprint of let's take a blueprint of this. We will rip up this. Take our 14 build. Okay, that's into the same location as before. 1, 2, where is it? Ah, looks like I've got some power poles in not quite the right location. Let's take these power poles out. Yeah, these power poles are 1 square too far out. Let's fix that in the blueprint because it's going to continually be a problem. Okay, so these need to be in line, not out. Okay. Okay, then we need to hook up some stuff. We need the green circuits, so that can go to there, to there, to there. Then we've got these boxes which need to be replaced with steel. Okay. I just need to set the limits on each of these as well so that they don't fill up indefinitely. Yeah, that's got 2 stacks. Try once more. Okay, so does this have... No, it doesn't. Right. Obviously my copy-paste foo is weak today. On the upside, we're making a lot of blue circuits. Is this correct? Yeah. So then we need one of those into one of those with a limit of 2 stacks. Okay, let's do that by blueprint because it requires a couple of things to be got right. Great. Now these need to be limited to 2 stacks. Let's see if it worked this time. Yep, that's limited to 2 stacks. Okay, are these working at full speed? Yes, they are. Wonderful. So, is our production better? Yes, it is. Yeah, we've managed to raise our production up. Okay, so we now need to build basically this, the other side. So let's take a quick blueprint of this. Because it's a pain to remake. And I will take a stack of barrels. All right. So this side can go. There we are. Then we will take a blueprint of the whole of this and we will fix it after we have placed it down. Ah, this is asymmetric because of the pipe work. Okay, so let's get rid of those pipes. And those two, that one. Again, we have issues with pipes, although does this, that lines up. Okay, well these pipes are just there for usefulness, so we can, right, let's line this up again. So that lines up the chests, down that goes. This can all be ripped up. Okay. Great. Everything's winding down because we don't have any sulfuric acid going in the system. Okay, so something like that without, do we need that? Yes, but do we need that? Right, what's going on here? Let's start off with where's the little oil print gone? There. Get rid of that for now. There we are. Okay, that can go there. That can go there. This just gets things going. Okay, let's put that in there. So we have sulfuric acid. Right. Sulfuric acid to the other half. And the issue here is that these are not clocked. Okay. Those are clocked. And now so are those. So this is a complete build. We can rip up this now because I think it's surplus to requirement. Production. Is climbing. All right, let's see if there's any obvious problems. So there's lots of green. Let's go down to the most likely to be in trouble. That's this one down here. This machine is very, very happy. We have plenty of red circuits, plenty of green circuits. Yep, this is running along tickety-boo. Okay. And this is producing 5.2. Almost rock steady at 5.2. And it should be producing 5.2. Okay. Let's see what we can do. So at the moment we have two boxes providing red circuits and they are full. So 2 is clearly more than we need. Let's take half of them away. We don't really need many red circuits here. Okay, so how is that? What I would like to do is empty out one of these chests. There we are. To see if it still fills up. Right, let's get rid of what's in my inventory. Okay, let's do that with all of them. So if I rip up these provider chests and then put them down again, we will see if we can actually get away with a single box. Right. So that still seems to be humming along quite happily. You potentially would have to run this a while. That's fine, that's filling up. Okay, so yeah, a single red circuit is fine. Okay, These green circuits, are they... No, these are not building up. So these are pretty close to being... Oh, that one's full. Okay, so some are full, some are not. So I don't know if you need all 6. Okay, they are all... Right, so I've emptied that one. Because if I could get away with 4 of these rather than 6, I'd be happy. Okay, that one's full. These are ones I've emptied earlier. So these are emptying pretty much as soon as they're filled. I think it's because they're on the edge of the network. Okay, these are remaining fairly empty. No, they're not. Empty that. Right, so 6 is more than we need. Let's go down to 5. I'll take off the bottom one on each. Okay, we were at 5.2. We are still at 5.2. There hasn't yet been a green circuit starvation. Okay. So, what's the next thing? The next thing is we have this clock, and we are getting to 2 blue circuits, 2 or 3 blue circuits. Okay, so we can adjust this clock. So the time at the moment is every 75. We're getting 2 or 3 in there. We want to get that up to about 10. So let's do 3 times that. So that would be 7, 14, 21. So let's start off with 220 ticks. Okay, and we will watch this machine. What is this waiting on? Electronic circuits. Okay. Well, there's plenty in here. Yeah, it's not a starvation issue. So these can get up to 5, and then the machine stalls. It's stalling at 5, so the machine can only have 5 advanced circuits in it. Okay, so let's dial this back to, so it was 75, let's put it at 100. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. we can up this. So it's at 100, 120, try that. I got to 4. Installed. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, that's really hit productivity. Okay. 110. Okay, so let's look at the, yeah, that. So we took a bit of a dent there when we had the wrong number. Okay, so we are not doing so well. We're getting little stalls, which are enough to dent the productivity. Let's give this a moment to catch up. Yep, this is definitely not good enough. Right, so 110 is too big. 100. The lights are all green. We're back to 5.2. Is that real? Yes, it is. So this is now climbing back up. So this is currently at 5, which isn't 5.2. So this machine is running full time. Let's have a look over here. So that's running full time as well. Go down to this corner. Okay, this has plenty of reds and greens. So everything appears to be running at full speed. Okay, yeah, I'm going to call that. I'm going to call that at near enough full speed. That's right on the 5152 boundary. All right, how are we doing for green circuits? So that's still not buffering up. So I think 5 boxes is about right. I probably will set it to 6 for the real thing. But I'm going to call that the build. So I will rip up the one we have in the real game and replace it with this. So this is an 11 beacon with slightly more machines, and just double check. We're producing 5.1, 5.2K, and it theoretically maxes out at 5.2. So I will call that it. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We will do even better next time, no doubt. All right, bye-bye.